See, this right here, I'm going to say something, okay? And I'm going full hater mode. This shows the kind of person that he is. When you have these allegations against you and you go to Vegas, you have zero remorse for what you have done. Here's the thing where I say I'm the biggest hater, I'm going hater mode, okay? This man has a newborn baby and a wife at home, and meanwhile his wife's getting harassed online, and meanwhile he has a newborn baby and a wife at home, and where is he? Oh, he's in Vegas DJing. What? Oh, I have a lot to say on this topic. You may have seen by now that there is a very disturbing situation that has been uncovered that has been happening with a very popular YouTuber named Cody Co. There's been many videos made, and it's taken me a while to make a video because, first of all, I was trying to sort through all of my disgust and really figure out what I want to say. But number two, there's been a lot of new developments, and I wanted to wait and see if he actually responded to the allegations that have been brought against him. Now, he actually somewhat has responded in his own twisted sort of way that we will discuss, but there's also been new findings and new people coming out with their experiences that we will definitely be discussing in this video as well. And I also wanted to come on here and talk about what I believe the next steps need to be as far as this situation goes. So to start, I want to give a brief summary of what has taken place and some additional details that I feel like are important that I feel like maybe are not as well known. Here's the situation. So several years ago, a YouTuber named Tana Mongeau came out and said that she slept with Cody Co when she was 17 years old. People were then able to discover that this would have made him 25 years old at the time, sleeping with a 17-year-old girl. This is undeniably and inarguably a crime. Now, you might be wondering, why did this never get out if this happened several years ago and she came out with this several years ago? Well, there's, I think, a lot of answers to that question that we'll get into and we'll address in this video, but I think the number one reason is because Cody never addressed it, and he also heavily moderated all of his channels to make sure that this did not hit the mainstream. And there were a lot of diversions and tactics that were employed during this time to basically silence and bury the story. So let's get into who Cody Co is if you don't know who that is. So this is Cody Co. Like I said, he's a very popular YouTuber, actually a very beloved content creator here on YouTube, getting millions of views. He's one of the top commentary YouTubers on the platform. He does a lot of like reacting to cringe content. You can see 6 million subscribers. He does a lot of reacting to the button videos, which are videos that are made by this other company where people hit the button and it's kind of like a dating show. So he just reacts to like other people's content. He also is married to another fellow YouTuber. Her name is Kelsey, 1 million subscribers. And she frequently showcases her life and behind the scenes of her life with Cody as a married couple. They also recently just had a baby together. You can see I'm a mom now, and they just did a Met Gala fashion review about a month ago. He was posting up until about a week ago, 2 weeks ago at this point. He has not posted anything since on his YouTube channel. We're still waiting to see something as far as that goes. Additionally, he is the, I would say, co-owner and co-founder of TMG Studios, which stands for Tiny Meat Gang Studios. Will become very ironic and pertinent information later. He basically has a network that he operates where they have their podcast on there that he hosts with his co-host Noel Miller, but then he also has other people that have their podcast underneath that network. So it's basically like an influencer network at this point. This here you can see is Tana Mongeau. You've probably seen her before. She is an equally popular YouTuber. She became very popular for her story time videos and doing like wild, stalker stories and just kind of having like a crazy lifestyle. She's been popular for many years and relevant for many years. You can see here 5.4 million subscribers. Recently, she's sort of transitioned over into her very successful podcast that she hosts with her co-host Brooke Schofield right here. So this is the Canceled Podcast. They have 2.3 million subscribers. They get a ton of views on their every single podcast, which this is not typical, I would say, for a podcast to get 1 million views, over 1 million views for a podcast. So this is an extremely popular podcast that they host. It's probably one of the top ones, honestly, out there. Recently, it's become so popular that they actually went on to a canceled tour. So they went around the country and they did theaters, and they would sell out the entire theater, and they would do crazy things on stage, and like they would, spill tea. Like they're very much like a spilling tea, open and honest kind of thing, girl talk. So this particular clip actually surfaced from one of the shows. Someone asked her on the tour, who's the guy that you've slept with who has the tiniest meat? And this was her response.
Who's the smallest dick you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, do no one look at me, Cody Co.
She says, I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that. This is now the second or third time that she has somewhat publicly stated and openly stated that she slept with Cody Ko when she was 17 years old, okay? This was posted onto TikTok, and then it started making its rounds over there. And I think it's very ironic, and obviously not a good look for Cody as well, that they have a podcast and a whole studio network called Tiny Meat Gangs. Obviously, it's a self-referential title. Okay, this right here is the first time that Tana Mongeau actually said this out loud, that she was 17 years old and had slept with Cody Ko. This is actually from 3 years ago. So here's that clip.
And that's not right. That's not correct. I know now. I was 17 at the time, 18. And so I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen. Shout out Cody Co.
She says there, I was 17 and I started hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen. Shout out Cody Co. Now, I just want to bring this up because I haven't really seen a whole lot of people discussing this. I mean, because, you know, obviously she said Cody Ko and then she also said JC Kalen. This is another YouTuber and I don't know why it's flying under the radar. It seems to me that she's also alleging the same thing about JC Kalen and hooking up with him at the same time when she was 17. So I'm not sure why he's not getting any heat or anything like that either. I mean, he's been recently in a very disturbing drama that I think happened not even that long ago this year, where he was looking up his friends and his friends' fiancés leaked explicit photos and things, and looking up young girls' feet pictures online because his search history got leaked during a live stream. This is extremely disgusting as well, and I don't see nearly enough people discussing this person because like he's a huge YouTuber as well, and he still has a platform where he streams and does things. You can see here Tana Mongeau straightened my hair, and it's like one of his top viewed videos. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up because no one's saying anything about that, and if that's true as well, then that needs to absolutely be discussed and pursued, and something needs to be done about that. He can't get away with that either. Again, if that's true and that's what she's saying, which it sounds like she is, you know, after these allegations came out and she said all of these things, people started to look into this and be like, ew. The signs were there the whole time. When you look back at their collaboration videos and the way he was looking at her, very creepy to watch in retrospect. He literally just watched her walk out of the room. Looked at her ass while she walked out of the room.
A response video, and
You're so funny. Like, no one's ever heard.
Oh my god.
Comedian.
I'm gonna have to do a response video to this, trust me. Ow! Oh my god.
You just fucking punched me in the face.
I just dick. You just like completely go down. I'm like, oh, so alright, sleepy.
So you could see it's a very sort of like flirty, odd exchange. I mean, there's definitely some tension in the room. Super uncomfortable to watch. Yeah.
Something
What?
that I totally just remembered.
What?
So do you know what famous birthdays is?
Yeah.
One of the no, there's only one fact about me.
Okay.
And it's like she has collaborated with Cody Co. That's the only fact.
I kind of look at this too. I'm like, why was he even doing collabs with her when she was that young? I feel like I just have a sixth sense, honestly, when I watch stuff like this. By the way, proud non-Cody Co watcher, okay? I do not watch him and I don't think he's funny at all. Never have, never will. I just get a sixth sense about certain creepy guys, and like the way he's looking at her and the way he's being so flirtatious, like you could just tell, and it's kind of in a way of like frat boy vibes.
I just wanted you to know.
Okay. Thanks, can we move on with those?
Yeah.
This, by the way, I wanted to mention these clips, and people were talking about this back in February of this year. Okay, so you can see 2-9 right here. And then somebody said, wait, so what happened? Cody hooked up with Tana when she was 17, kind of around the time when they did their first collab on YouTube. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, like I said, she brought this up for the first time 3 years ago. She first started talking about this. And then February of this year, people were also talking about it. It had sort of another life where it started to pick up again, and people were starting to talk about it and make videos about it. But once again, all of this stuff was squashed by his team, by him. He was never addressing it. Nobody was talking about it. So then it just died off again. This has been something that's been constantly buried over and over and over again. This is a video that popped up actually in February. So this is just interesting. And I think that, you know, now that we've got more information, I think it would be a disservice to look back at some of the other things that were happening and to look at how the situation's been manipulated over and over again and how it's been buried over and over again. So this is a clip from a podcast, okay, where Kelsey, his wife, is talking about how Cody proposed to Kelsey last minute. So the caption says, the way Cody Co proposed to Kelsey last minute, a week after him and Tana Mongeau's hookup came out.
I go to the beach, whatever it was.
And by the way, this is 3 years ago when she first started to say that they hooked up when she was 17, okay?
I was like, I can't believe he's about to propose to me.
Right, of course.
He told me that, and I was like, okay, every single thing we did, this is the proposal. And then it got to be December. And once it got to be December, I was like, he doesn't want to marry me. And
so she's saying that she thought he was going to propose to her, for several months, the whole year. She's thinking he's going to propose, and he's not. Even though he said, I'm going to propose to you, allegedly, or something like that. She's waiting and wondering, when is it coming? To the point where she actually starts to get mad. You'll see here.
It's so mortifying that he told me by the end of the year. And that he now has changed his mind and he doesn't want to marry me. I was sad. And I wasn't being very nice to him because I was mad.
You had no idea?
I had stopped hoping at this point.
So it's gotten to the point where she's actually stopped hoping that he's going to propose because he's not showing any signs of doing it. He's not doing it. He said he was going to do it. He's not doing it. It's December, and he said he was going to do it by the end of the year. It's December. Things are not happening. Even her is like, he doesn't want to marry me anymore. So he's not reassuring her at home that he's going to do it. Okay.
Everything to me was like it was going to happen, and then it kept not that I was like, there's just no way it's going to happen anymore.
Right.
Then a week later, he proposes to his now wife. Tell me that timing is not odd. And basically what people are saying is that it was a diversion tactic at the time that he proposed to his now wife, which he was exhibiting no signs of doing, to the point where she was actually calling up her friends saying, hey, he hates me and he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me. And then he proposes a week later. So here's what people have to say. So it says, I didn't like to think of it like this. I thought it was an insane coincidence, but then I saw this because they were together for so long. So they were together for a very long period of time. And then all of a sudden, a week later, he proposes to her. Look, I don't want to take away from their happy moment. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. But you have to look at this now with the information that we have and see it for probably what it is, because this person is obviously a manipulator. He manipulated a 17-year-old into having sex with him when he was 25 years old and kept her quiet about it for years and years and years, and was also manipulating the public opinion of him as well by censoring all of his posts and things like that. So a lot of people are saying, wait, what? Like, this is crazy, right? Here's another one. This is on a completely separate platform, by the way. So this person said, I'll always find it funny that when that information about her and Cody recirculated on social media, he proposed to Kelsey super shortly after, almost like to shift everyone's attention. Okay, this is not just me that's saying this. This is multiple places. These are not even all the comments of people saying this. I noticed this too, but knew if I pointed it out, his fans would get mad because he does have a very rabid fan base, by the way. Like I said, he's a very beloved person. I think you need to keep that in mind. Up until this point, obviously, that his fans would attack anyone, including Tana Mongeau, and especially Tana Mongeau, for even saying the truth about what happened to her when she was 17 years old, which makes her a victim, by the way. And she says, I say this as someone who's followed him since 2013 on Vine. Cody had way different vibes back in the day, like major F-boy energy, but I liked it at the time because I was like 16 and edgy. He definitely seems to have grown a lot since meeting Kelsey. I'm sure he loves her very much, but I remember checking both their socials when Tana first mentioned hooking up with him, and it was radio silence, and then they're suddenly engaged. So definitely weird. Yeah, I think it's definitely weird. You have to question, do you feel like that was manipulative? And, I think that it was, personally. Let's just put it this way, okay? It's very odd timing that you would propose when you have active allegations against you. And I don't personally think I'd want to be proposed to if someone had active allegations against them that they slept with a 17-year-old girl. I wouldn't. And I don't think I'd say yes to that either, but that's just me. Okay, so now here comes where Tana finally breaks her silence about this. And I just want to point this out because you know what? People will say all sorts of things about Tana, saying she's lying for clout or XYZ, just disgusting, deplorable things. But this is the podcast that she talked about it in. Okay, so I just want you to take a look at the title. Brooke finally reveals her A-list boyfriend. Has no mention of Cody Co whatsoever in this title. Okay, and in fact, she doesn't talk about it till the very end of the podcast. It's not even titled that way. So obviously, here's some of those clips.
I hooked up with Cody Co when I was 17 and he was 25.
There you go. I don't know how much clearer you could say that one.
Yeah, it happened. I'm trying to think about it from a perspective of like a younger sister. And if something like that was happening to her, I would never let it fly. To be 100% truthful, when I look back at the Cody situation, I definitely am like why was he doing that? You know what I mean? And there were so many situations. There was a situation with Gabbie Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
Keep this in mind. She knew Gabbie Hanna told him that she was 17 years old and that he still hooked up with her anyway. So at this point, he knows her age. And there's another person, Gabbie Hanna, who is a witness to this, that also knew that she was 17.
And I can look at that and be like, like,
what
why the fuck are you doing that? But there isn't a part of me, at least at 25 now. I mean, I look back and I would never do anything like that. So I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me.
I want to talk about this quickly for a second because I think this is one of the main reasons why this story also never really went mainstream the way that I think that it needed to go mainstream. And I'm not putting any blame on Tana at all whatsoever. She is a victim in this, 100% truly. I also want to say this, there's no such thing as a perfect victim. Okay, there's not. You may dislike Tana, you may feel like she's lied in the past. She may lie in the future and she may up in the future, but that doesn't change what's happened here. The reason why she probably doesn't associate any trauma is, number one, as she just said, she's had so many more traumatic things happen to her, but it doesn't decrease or devalue the fact that this was a crime that's been done to her and she is a victim, first and foremost. But also, I think that her sort of detachment from this criminal act that's happened to her, I think is largely due to actually Cody Ko himself. And the reason why I say that is because the power imbalance that was taking place, I mean, she was truly a fan of his. We'll get into that more later. But this is a coercive act that took place, okay? This is a manipulation. This is someone who's 25 years old, an adult, taking advantage of someone who is underage. I think it's hard to see when you're that person. You know, a lot of 17-year-olds don't realize what's been happening to them is wrong because they've been manipulated by somebody who has a fully developed frontal lobe and has lived so much more life than them. So this is designed to be a coercive and manipulative act, and that's exactly what it was. So I think that I like the fact that she brought up and she recognized, if this happened to my younger sister, someone that I cared about that was younger, I would not fly. And I think that the same thing applies here, where people on the outside need to have like a bigger sister or, you know, protective role in this situation and say, hey, look, I know that this doesn't feel like it was as bad as it is, but it really is that bad. Okay, what he did is, it really is that bad. Okay, it is statutory what happened. I think that that's why this conversation needs to keep going, because this absolutely cannot and will not and should not be tolerated in our society. Absolutely not. And no one who commits that act as a 25-year-old, you know better, first of all, never should get away with it.
But again, it's like he was 25. He should have known better.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's like I think where I settle on that. And it's almost like the public's reaction to this has made me feel 10 different types of ways that I didn't feel before. Like, I have seen so many comments of people like on some like, but what was she wearing?
Some of the things that I've seen are so disgusting and disturbing revolving around this situation, and just other situations that you see that are similar to this where people speak up. I think she'll go on to say as well, which is sad, is she actually regrets even saying anything in the beginning. And it's like, well, no, that should never be the case.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On some like, well, it's Tana Mongeau. And like,
ew,
isn't that crazy? You know how I feel towards it, but now seeing all of these people like not believe me and say, well, what if she's lying or she's this and she's that and she's dramatic? First of all, there's nothing, I would never lie about that. I'm not going to put an allegation on anyone.
This kind of brings me back to that whole perfect victim idea. Like that doesn't exist. I'm really sick of people who can't compartmentalize and who can't use critical thinking skills and realize that two things can be true at once. Someone can be a promiscuous, but they can also be a victim of a crime. You can also not like someone, but believe that what they're saying is true. There's never going to be a person that lived a perfect life and, you know, made no mistakes and is never going to make a mistake again. This is a farce. The reaction to her has been very disheartening, and it's one of those things where, once again, I get very disturbed by a lot of these responses and what's been going on.
But then I just like, I feel so bad for all of these young girls, because then they see that and then it makes them not want to come forward. And then I am like, wow, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, seeing people not believe you is so crazy. And how much people love him.
Like, I know.
It makes me feel so sorry for any real victims of people that are really loved by people, because
they still get, at the end of the day, they get their platform. He's going to be just fine. He's posted up in a mansion.
Well, and just
his life is
even
going to
just
go on.
in my day-to-day life, like it's like I know for a fact if you swapped out Cody Co with someone that like people didn't like that much,
Oh my
I would
God.
be receiving so much more sympathy versus like the amount of people in this industry who like want to protect him.
Honestly, I feel like this is actually a much worse situation as well, because all of these people that live in LA and are YouTubers and things, they all run in the same circle with each other. So, you know, the ability for him to deny that, once again, he didn't know her age, that he didn't know anything about her, or she lied about something, like all of these people know. And think about this for 1 second, please. Okay, all of the people that knew that this happened over there, I guarantee, especially because she said this for the first time over 3 years ago at this point, I guarantee other people know of the crimes that he committed, and not one person said anything. Not one person. No one. And all of these people run in the same circle. I've never heard one thing. Not one. The thing that really disheartens me is one thing that her friend said as well, that he's going to still have a platform. The world's going to keep spinning on for Cody Ko. And I think that is absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely not. No.
And are like talking to me in a way where it's like they, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or even just friends like, but I love him. Like, you know what I mean? It would be easier and less hard if he was like,
Easily hateable.
yes.
Like already just.
yes. And
No,
that
I'm like-
makes
To me, it kind of sounds like what she was kind of insinuating here, and maybe I'm wrong, but she was kind of insinuating that people did know about this. And when she would talk about it to people that are in the industry or people that are in LA, they would be kind of like, oh, come on, girl, don't say anything. Come on, don't ruin a good thing. I mean, I love him. He's so funny. He's so great. That's what I'm picking up.
makes me sad for other people in a situation like mine. But if I were to
too.
sit here and be like, I'm a victim and this was so horrible and oh my God, I'm so traumatized and oh my God, like whatever, like I don't feel that way.
But then-
I just know it was wrong and he was wrong. The most traumatizing thing of all of this really was seeing how many people like don't believe people or don't believe me. Like there was a while ago where I think I said something about
This is big.
it online and it was starting to surface, and he texted me like, are we good? And was like, I said yeah.
So he texted her when all of this stuff was going on. Once again, guys, this is not the first time that these allegations have been swirling about. And she admits here that he texted her and said, are we good? Once again, texting her, which I think is an admission of guilt in a very roundabout way, that's my opinion, to text her and say, are we good? Yet confirming, hey, I know that I slept with you when you were 17 years old. Are we good with that? Are you good with that? That's what it feels like. Once again, it's another manipulation tactic. And once again, it's another tactic to bury this story and keep it under wraps. He's trying to basically get her to be like, yeah, don't talk about it anymore. And then here's what else he says.
And like he was like, my wedding's coming up, like yada, yada, yada. And I
Texting her and saying, hey, my wedding's coming up. Can you not talk about the fact that we slept together when you were 17 years old and I was 25? Can you not maybe talk about that? Yeah, this is the kind of person that we're dealing with here. I don't know how a single person does not see this and think to themselves, who the was I watching if you were a viewer of his? Seriously. And how could somebody do that to another person?
And then now it's like all these Reddit threads, like if my name's on any thread, it's all getting deleted. Like I know it's just a weird fuck situation.
That is
where
oh my
it's
God.
like, and I just feel like if I said it on stage, I now have to sit here and like explain myself. And I kind of just wish I didn't.
She ends it by saying, I kind of just wish I never said anything. It's honestly a shame. And I think that that is only reflective of the way that people have responded to her. And it's disgusting. And once again, that is one of the main aspects of change that I hope to really drill into people in this video is the way that they responded to this situation has been so disturbing, quite frankly, so disgusting, that it's actually made someone who is a victim at 17 years old wish that they never said anything. And I just want to point out as well, Tana Mongeau is a very powerful person, okay? She has a lot of connections, especially over in like the YouTube area, like within that community. She's got a ton of famous friends. She's got a ton of money. And for someone like that, who has a huge platform to defend herself, she's got a huge, network of people to defend herself, to say, I wish I never said anything because it was that bad. Think about that for a second. Okay, think about that for a second. You're kidding me, right? This shit got to stop. And the other thing I wanted to touch on that we'll discuss more, but I want to really drive home the fact that she acknowledged it there, that everything was getting censored, right? In his Reddit threads, it's getting censored. In his YouTube comments, censored. Anything with her name, deleted. Okay, it was being flagged as potentially causing drama. A crime that you committed is drama now? That's drama. Every single aspect of this has been buried. So many of you have seen the video that I'm about to reference here, but things came to a head and really hit the mainstream finally when a YouTuber named D'Angelo Wallace made a video about this topic, okay? The video right here, titled An Uncomfortable Conversation About Cody Co. 8 days ago. It has 2.6 million views at this point. And basically it's a video discussing all things that happened with Cody, but actually providing additional evidence that no one had ever seen before. So I wanna go through some of the highlights of this video as well that I wanna show you right now.
None of your friends, nobody on your level, nobody in the commentary niche with enough pull is willing to admit that this situation makes you look terrible. To be clear, 17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mongeau is accusing you of statutory.
First thing that I really love that D'Angelo brought up is that no one with enough pull has ever spoken out and made a video or talked about this in a candid and public way and in a distancing myself from Cody Co kind of way about the situation. No one has done that until D'Angelo did that. I think this also speaks to what Tana was saying when she was saying that, you know, people in my circle, people in the LA space, in the LA world were coming up to me and saying, oh my God, come on. Like, I love him. Like, he's so great. Like, he's so funny. Like, they were trying to deter her from talking about it. And I think that he's been protected for way too long by the people that are in that space, in that lifestyle, in that area. And not until this moment of this video did it finally hit the mainstream and break through. It's unfortunate that it had to happen that way, but at least it happened, okay?
Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabbie Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabbie is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage.
First of all, this clip was an absolute bombshell because I don't know how this was found, but apparently this had been buried, lost to time in the recesses of the internet, and finally resurfaced. Obviously you could see the quality of that video was not great. Somehow D'Angelo was able to locate that video, and it's from several years ago where Gabbie Hanna is actually corroborating and giving credibility to the story that Tana Mongeau said. And Tana Mongeau had no idea, in my opinion, that this clip even existed, okay? So she was just being open and honest and saying, look, I remember Gabbie Hanna telling him that I was 17 at this party, and he still hooked up with me. I feel like this clip legitimized a lot of Tana's claims. This is damning evidence at this point.
Man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage. Watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists.
I feel like that was another highlight of the video, and I feel like that was the main takeaway for me personally from the D'Angelo Wallace video, which obviously has gone super viral at this point. And I think that it's true. I think that people need to be talking about it. That's why I'm talking about it now. I feel like more people need to come out and make statements. And I especially think that that's true for people that have recently collaborated with him, especially after these allegations have come out. And I'm not just talking about after the D'Angelo Wallace video. I'm talking about from 3 years ago when these first came to light. Tana Mongeau was saying this for years and no one cared and people protected him. Like I said, other people acknowledged to her. They knew that this happened. And not one person came forward and said anything. Not one person has come out and distanced themselves. I think that more people do need to discuss it. You know why? Because it doesn't allow him to bury his head in the sand and wait for it all to blow over. It doesn't. And I don't think that should be able to happen at all. Okay, so now we get into some of the updates and some of the fallout that's happened and the responses that have taken place ever since the D'Angelo Wallace video went live. And, you know, more people started to pick up on the story. You know, this video came out the same day as the D'Angelo Wallace video by Moist Critical, 5.4 million views. That was somebody that did a podcast with him, apparently, you know, publicly distanced himself from him. That was one of the big things that came from this. Brittany Broski, who collaborated with Cody somewhat recently came out with a statement. It says, I'm crushed to learn about the Cody allegations. If it's proven to be true, then that's extremely upsetting. As a collaborator and longtime fan, I find all of this disturbing, inappropriate, and just flat out disappointing. Some people went back and forth about how they felt about this statement. I feel like, is it worded the best? No, not really. I mean, I think it probably could have been worded better. The if it's proven to be true part is really like, I probably just poorly worded legal jargon that her legal team probably helped her create. At this point, it's like, this is really beyond allegations.
Brittany Broski responding to the Cody Co Tana situation, if it's proven to be true, is so weird. Don't say anything at all at that point. Or just say, like, I fucking Tana and I don't care if Cody hooked up with her when she was 17. Like, what the fuck? You're so weird.
Some people not happy about the fact that she said if proven to be true. I mean, do I think it's worded well? No, not really. I think that it's just, once again, poorly worded. A legal team likely helped her write up. I don't think it's very authentic either, but at least she said something. I think, that's more than other people can say. So here's the opposite end of that. So it says, weird how 2 male YouTubers had to tell y'all Cody Co was guilty before y'all took Tana seriously. It says, the way Tana and Brittany Broski are getting 10 times more hate than Cody. So this is just reflective of what's going on. I mean, this is 100% true and accurate. It says, I was very confused with all the new headlines of D'Angelo Wallace and critical reveal Cody Co. And when I watched the video, there was no new information. It was just delivered by somebody else. I think that what D'Angelo did was a very honorable thing. Regardless of who's saying it or who's bringing it to light, it doesn't really matter to me. I feel like D'Angelo was right in the sense of, nobody who has any real pull or like lots of subscribers or who can like get a video out into the mainstream and get like a lot of attention on it has made a video. It's just all, smaller people talking and kind of getting buried in the same way. That's my opinion. And everyone giving Brittany and Tana more hate than him combined really shows the misogyny of the internet. I think that that's true. A lot of people are getting mad at Brittany Broski, and it's like, how about what Cody Co did? Like, can we focus on that? And I think that the problem with that is that Cody Co's not said anything. So Brittany Broski is getting hate because he's refusing to acknowledge that this happened. Okay, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Seeing people who are more mad at Brittany Broski talking about Cody Co instead of being mad at Cody Co himself, absolutely insane. Agreed. Why is everyone hating on Brittany Broski, who's collabed with Cody like twice, and not Noel or, God forbid, Cody himself, who have said nothing so far? Well, she said I'm pretty sure it's for legal reasons, considering this is a crime we're talking about. I'm genuinely confused. Yeah, that's another good point, is that Cody Co's collaborator, his best friend, his co-host on his podcast, like been in several of his videos, has so far, as of the time I'm making this video, said absolutely nothing. Absolutely said nothing. No statements. Here's some of the responses that I just wanted to point out to you because they're very real, and I'm not doing this in a way to like trigger anybody or upset anybody, but I feel like it's important that we acknowledge these things and see that this is happening. Okay, these people are real. Like, these people that think this way are real, and this cannot continue on any further. So here's one of the comments. Hard to believe, to be honest, in response to Tana's allegations. Tana is irrelevant and is known to lie. Seems like an attention grab. If it's real though, it's terrible. It's just gross. I'm not defending him, but I only heard it from Tana Mongeau, and her problematic past doesn't really make me believe her all that much. Then somebody said, that's literally you defending him. She'd have nothing to lie about in this case, and this is her second time bringing it up, so it's weird that y'all need proof about a grown man sleeping with a minor.
Here's why, pessimistically, maybe. I think Cody Co is going to be absolutely fine. So if you weren't aware what he's doing, Cody is currently employing the keep your head down strategy, which many big celebrities have had to employ in recent memory.
This has, by the way, been his strategy for a long time, is to just not address, and
just don't acknowledge anything and just continue, as normal. And I recently learned from all of these videos I'm seeing about that Cody's immigration status would be in question if there was some sort of, criminality.
Yeah, apparently Cody Co is a Canadian. If he is found guilty of a crime or something, he could get deported. A lot of people are speculating that he's not going to address it, and I don't think he probably will either. What is he going to admit to a crime? I don't know, but honestly, in my opinion, the silence of him is saying all that it needs to say.
When you look around at all the celebrities that are still playing shows that are frankly bad people, their fans don't really give a shit. I'm seeing a lot of Tiny Meat Gang fans switching up, obviously, but also there's going to be a lot of them that don't. I seriously doubt he says a word about this, and I think he'll be fine.
See, this is what bothers me. The idea that someone would be fine after this, and they would go on to continue to make money off of people, make money on YouTube, continue to have a platform, okay, when there's so many other people in the world that could easily take his place. Guys, his content's not that revolutionary either. He reacts to button videos all day long. That's all he does. It's lazy. There's other people that can do a better job. There's other people that are funnier than him that can take his place. I don't think something like this, someone who is a criminal who commits crimes, okay, something that as disgusting as this one, I don't think that he should ever have the privilege of making money on YouTube videos again and having a platform again. I think something should happen to him. Here's somebody that commented, I hope Cody Co beats these allegations. Somebody also commented, cancel culture's fake. He'll be fine. If anything, he will just pivot to right-wing grifting and still make bank. Let's also think about James Charles too. Got caught texting Myers multiple times. His career's still going just fine. If anything, he's probably has more subscribers now for Cody. It might be different. Can somebody acknowledge that this is all wrong? To say cancel culture in the same sentence of someone committed statutory rape and calling that cancel culture, that's not canceling. That's called being held accountable for a crime that you committed. So after not seeing Cody Co, he hasn't been posting. He's clearly busy monitoring all of his channels, making sure that nobody talks about this, making sure to try to bury the story as much as he can. In the meantime, he's letting his wife get harassed. This is what Cody Co's doing. Are you ready for this one? Cody Co's latest response is he's playing a show because apparently he's a DJ. Latest response, Encore Beach Club in Las Vegas. This was July 19th, a couple days after the D'Angelo Wallace video. Playing Sorry by Justin Bieber. You can't make this up. You actually cannot make this up. Playing Sorry by Justin Bieber. Fist bumping to a crowd of people in Vegas. Getting money to DJ, by the way. Cody Co plays Sorry during DJ set amid his silence over Tana Mongeau allegations. See, this right here, I'm going to say something, okay? And I'm going full hater mode. This shows the kind of person that he is. When you have these allegations against you and you go to Vegas, you have zero remorse for what you have done. You have zero understanding of the gravity of these things, unless he knows already that nothing's gonna happen to him. Here's the thing where I say I'm the biggest hater, I'm going hater mode, okay? This man has a newborn baby and a wife at home, and meanwhile his wife's getting harassed online, while he's moderating all of his other channels. He has not been moderating hers, okay? Nobody's been moderating hers. Hers have been absolutely diabolical, as if she was the one that committed this crime. And meanwhile, he has a newborn baby and a wife at home. And where is he? Oh, he's in Vegas DJing. What? While all of this is happening, you just had a baby with a man who's been accused as being a and you're being threatened to lose absolutely everything. The online hate is at an all-time high. A bombshell video just dropped, and where is he? He's in Vegas DJing. It's disgraceful. And you know what? There is zero remorse from this person. And I don't know how people didn't see this earlier. I see this right here, and I see it as clear as day. That's a piece of shit if I've ever seen one. Shocking. Really. Why does he have a smug little smirk on his face? Like there's no way this wasn't calculated. Realizing this is the person I was watching feels insane. Yeah, it's a sobering moment, I have to imagine. This is beyond parody. Mouthing every word but sorry. Yeah, I didn't even notice that one, but apparently. Entire internet, hey Cody, are you going to address the Tana situation? Your silence is kind of worse than any response you could give. Cody Co topping Colleen Ballinger for the worst influencer apology. Honestly, most people will forget it once the next thing comes around and he knows it. That's where we've gotten to as a society. Is actual criminal offenses, we forget about them when the next thing comes along. It's shocking, isn't it? Kind of feel like this might actually be the most Cody apology. Littest apology ever, though. Dude, I was in the Cody Co fandom in 2020, and we tried to call him out twice, and he saw it and ignored us. He avoids accountability like the damn plague. 36,000 likes. This is his wife's YouTube channel comments, by the way. Cody Co, extreme modding his channel. It's extremely embarrassing. Shocking, you're fine with it. How you let a man ruin your career. F, dude, wow. I'm shocked you both allowed an actual to attend your wedding. Your divorce lawyers will kick ass. Sad, just sad. This is a tiny little glimpse into this. This is also, by the way, people trying to post things in the Cody Co subreddit, and they were getting things removed for instigating drama. Finding out one of your comfort YouTubers comforted a minor. Yeah. I watch Cody Co every day getting ready for work. I'm legitimately deeply so disappointed. Yep. He was my girlfriend and I's go-to YouTuber while eating. Cody Co, what happened? Why am I not surprised? He allegedly hooked up with Tana Mongeau knowing she was 17 while he was 25. I'm not kidding when I say this. There should be a study done on some of these YouTubers and like public, influencer type people, social media content creators, and the fact that they're talking and messaging with minors. I'm not kidding when I say that I've seen like over 5 just in the last 2 weeks. What's going on? Seriously. I never watched Cody Co, but it's disappointing to watch a person see everyone else make videos about what he did and not even make a single statement. He was my comfort YouTuber. Finding out about Tana and then scrolling through Cody Co unfiltered to see the countless people who have been permanently banned from our Cody Co because they made posts about the situation, and then seeing that he has not addressed a single thing, eventually realizing he's just another frat guy who convinced everyone he was a normal guy. I think that that's absolutely the truth, is he absolutely manipulated and duped every person. It's disturbing and it's unsettling to realize that someone was going around relatively undetected for the last several years when all along this has been at the base of it. And this is the reality of this person and how they think and feel. And this is how they respond, you know, to these horrible allegations and to what they've done as having no remorse at all. So many clips have come out, by the way, that have ended up aging horribly. This is a clip from their podcast where they're talking about, I don't know, going back to school, being like a 25-year-old being back in school.
25 sitting in classes pretending you're 16.
God damn, dude.
Girls being like, hey, you're on varsity, right? And you're like, oh, listen.
I can't
listen,
talk
this
to
is
you.
this
isn't a good idea.
So he acknowledges that 25 talking to a 16-year-old is weird. This clip makes me uncomfortable. Ready?
Just going a million miles an hour on him getting on you for setting an example after he does a 20-minute video with Tana babysitting kids and they're talking about each other and all that shit.
By the way, they're talking about Jake Paul right now, saying that Jake Paul's videos are so disgusting in comparison to their own videos.
All through the entire, it's just like his content is riddled with shit if you want to get down to cherry picking and being like, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. So it's just arrogant in my mind to come in there, one.
Look at Cody. You can tell that his brain is working a million miles a minute. Number one, Tana's been mentioned, okay, which immediately he starts to think, oh, remember when I hooked up with her when she was 17 years old? Yeah, that's probably uncomfortable. And then his co-host, Noel, is talking about how there's a million things you could point to with his content that are not family friendly, they're disgusting, they're not right. And he's sitting there like uncomfortably, you know, nodding along.
Press somebody while they're sitting in a chair.
Yeah. And I'm very excited.
It's pretty basic.
I'm pretty.
Here's another clip that didn't age very well. This is Cody and his wife, who I've mentioned before was a former elementary school teacher. Yeah, they're giving 16-year-old Emma Chamberlain a vape.
Pumped. I can't believe I'm here. Okay, guys. I'm gonna be hitting the Juul for the first time. Don't try this at home. Really crazy. This is nuts.
So obviously these people here, by the way, they're not able to evaluate for some reason. Something's broken in their brains where they are not able to evaluate what is appropriate to do around a minor. And by the way, Emma Chamberlain went on to have like an actual nicotine addiction that's been well documented by her.
Do you want to feed it to me? Baby's first Juul.
That was weird.
That was good. I did pretty good. I didn't cough. Subscribe. Well, that was a fake cough for the attention.
You know, I wanted to point this out because when we talk about power dynamics and when we talk about the power imbalance of this situation, how did this situation happen, how manipulative this was, and just it makes matters worse. This is someone that posted a timeline of tweets that Tana had regarding Cody from 2014 to 2024. Years ago, she was talking about how much she loved Cody Co. October 2016, loving his videos, watching videos. 2016, they're doing a video together saying, I wish Cody Co was my BFF. October 2014. I love Cody Co. October 2014. This is when she was, by the way, this would have made her 15 or 16 at the time. So she was a fan long before she actually met Cody Co. This was someone that she idolized. It's been documented as well that she idolized a lot of YouTubers and looked up to a lot of different YouTubers because that's what she wanted to be. It adds to making this even more disturbing. And then this came out. So when there's smoke, there's fire, right? And there's another thing that came out and somebody posted that he dated a high schooler. So apparently she's not the only 17-year-old that he dated, okay? This is not the only time. This is not the only offense, allegedly. I'll say that. Okay, so it says, I've religiously watched Cody since Vine, and I have a vivid memory of him dating a high schooler. Him and his frat friend group would hang out with a bunch of teen girls and they'd sometimes appear in his videos. There was one girl he'd been with one-on-one in his Vines, which people speculated he was dating at the time. I remember looking into it and was surprised to see she was 17, especially since he was in his mid-20s. He still follows the high schoolers on IG, and they're in his old YouTube vlogs. Feel like I'm the only one that remembers. This is the video of him with a girl when he was 24. Here's a photo of them in April 2015. She is 17 here and did not graduate high school, so I'm going to show you these right now. Warning, this is like so creepy and disturbing. But these are actual screenshots, receipts. Ready?
Oh, it didn't work.
Kinda.
Damn it! So he's seen here kissing the back of her head, clearly looking at her and, you know, interacting with her in a romantic way. This girl at the time, I think in this video, was 18 years old, but they clearly had a relationship prior to this. So somebody says, you know, I don't doubt that she's 17, but is there any proof of it? Which I think is a fair question to ask. And it says, this Vine was posted on the 27th of July, 2015. She turned 19 on the 24th of May, 2016, which means in this video, Cody is kissing a just turned 18-year-old at the age of 24. She's not a minor in this video, but she would have turned 18 2 months earlier, but I don't doubt that he was grooming her for a while as they look very comfortable with each other. Plus, with him sleeping with Tana after Gabbie told him she was minor, he clearly enjoys the power dynamic of going for younger girls. So here's the picture of him with the 17-year-old girl. I blurred her face and her name because she's a private person and she's not an influencer. She lives her own life. I don't want her to be involved in this in any way, but she's sitting on his freaking shoulders at a festival. What are you doing? This is a 17-year-old girl, once again. So the Tana thing's not even the first time that this has happened, according to these photos. And I think that the ability for him to deny that they were dating, when there's a video of him kissing the back of her head and she's sitting on his shoulders at a festival and he's holding her legs, I think that deniability kind of gets thrown out the window. Hey guys, you don't believe me yet? Here's another one. Here's someone that came forward that said that they were Snapchatting Cody Co as a minor. Are you ready for this?
I was Snapchatting him at 15 before that. This was before Snapchat had the setting where, like, right now, if you wanted to go, you know, add a content creator or a celebrity, it's going to automatically have you follow them. This was before that, so they either added you or they didn't. Life does not.
Yeah. Here's the proof that she had him added and was a friend with him and Snapchatted him. And yes, it's only him opening this, but guys, at this point, how much more evidence do we need? I distinctly remember back in the Vine days that it was a thing that a lot of these guys would say, hey, add me on Snapchat, and they would add girls back that followed them on Vine. It was a very big thing for a while, and a lot of different guys did it. But it's like, why are they really doing that? Because it's like, you're not really promoting your Vine, you're not really doing any of that stuff. I mean, the fact that you're adding people back and Snapchatting them and like opening messages from minors. And this girl went on to allege that they had like conversations back and forth for months where he was opening them and sometimes he would send something back or he would message back occasionally. Like, why are you even doing this? Like, it's just inappropriate. And I'm sorry, I don't really feel like at this point you have a Snapchat for any other reason and back in these days other than to talk to girls and like to get girls to message you and like send you pictures or what. I don't know. I don't know what you were doing, okay? I'm not alleging anything like that. I'm just saying it's super weird at this point. With given all of the other evidence that we have, I think it's very odd behavior, once again, from him.
He was kind of an F-boy. Like, if I didn't put a lot of effort into trying to grab his attention, like, if I just said, hey, he would open it and, like, not respond.
Then this also got brought up. This was another bombshell from the D'Angelo video that I just wanted to quickly touch on. I feel like birds of a feather flock together. This is just another instance of that. So here we go. It came out that basically Cody Ko's friend named Colby Leachman, I'm just gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get in legal trouble, allegedly a girl and filmed it while he was at Duke. So Cody and this guy Colby went to Duke and this guy was in his wedding and they've like hung out for years, like they're close friends. Horrible, horrible stuff, guys. It's really disturbing. This is a photo of them together and this is a photo of him at their wedding. So obviously they're still close to this person. They allowed this person who allegedly raped the girl and filmed it to be in their wedding and to be in their life. It's just disgusting. So I think that that obviously needs to be mentioned as well. Here's proof of Cody. He was on the Duke swimming and diving team. So here's some of the fallout that's happened. Okay, so
that is produced by The Cut, who has had Cody on the show, who has had Cody be the button, just severed all ties with Cody Co, and they deleted every single episode that had to do with Cody
They deleted every episode with Cody. Recently as well, there's a podcast that's under the Tiny Meat Gang network, Tiny Meat Gang Studios, which is called Emergency Intercom. This is a very popular podcast with the two co-hosts, which are Enya and Drew. They've actually been on podcasts with Noelle and Cody before, and as recently as a month ago. You know, like I said, they have people under this network. They recently came out with a statement that I'll read to you. So it says, "Hey everyone, we wanted to make a post to express we are moving the podcast to be produced independently by us. So in the meantime, no episode this week while we figure out our best plan forward. Thanks for understanding and the patience." So obviously they came out, thankfully they did that. So yeah, that's been pretty much all of the updates that I have found. Now I want to talk to you about what I feel like needs to happen next. All I know is that I don't believe that he should be able to get away with this. I don't think that somebody like this should have a platform. I don't think somebody like this deserves to have a platform on YouTube. And for those reasons, I'm going to say what I'm about to say, and I don't take it lightly because I don't say this often, but I truly believe that he should be demonetized off of YouTube. I really do. I think that he committed a horrible crime. Until that has been addressed, I don't think that he should be making money off of YouTube. I think that YouTube should send a strong signal that this is not tolerated if you commit crimes, okay? Crimes, right? Any other job, you get caught talking to minors and doing things like this, then you're fired. And that's basically the only way you can get fired off YouTube is you get demonetized, all right? So that's what I think first needs to happen. Number two, based on the allegations from Cody Co, I think that TMG Studios, that he's a co-founder or whatever the hell, needs to come out and say he is no longer part of TMG, that he is no longer a part of that studio network, that even though he is a founder, that he's being ousted or whatever. That needs to be a public statement as well. It needs to be in a way that people that watch that can find it. If someone has collaborated with him recently, okay, since these allegations have been out, which they've been out for quite a while at this point, I think that a public statement probably should be made as well. Strongly encouraged to be made that they're cutting ties with him because of the allegations and they're distancing themselves from him. I think when people do that and they show that they actually support Tana Mongeau and the victims of these things that have happened, it helps everybody that has had this happen to them. It helps everybody. It helps our society when you disavow disgusting, nasty, gross behavior like that. Absolutely needs to happen, and no one should ever collaborate with him ever, ever, ever again. I think that the DJ venues should no longer book him. I think that honestly the Encore place should give a public statement as well. I'm not joking. Like everybody should be held accountable at this point. Oh, and one other thing. To the people that were involved on Cody Co's team, if those people exist, that were running cover up for him and actively silencing a victim and covering up this situation for years and years and deleting posts at Cody's request, if those people exist, I call upon you now, seriously, to come forward with what you know and be honest and open about what he asked you to do, okay? Because this is unacceptable. Silencing a victim and keeping this buried. You actively were involved in covering up a crime for years, and it's absolutely unacceptable, and you should be held responsible as well. And just because Cody has decided not to say anything does not mean that you need to be silent on this situation, okay? And if you were involved in covering all of this up and running defense for him during this whole situation, I sincerely hope that it weighs on your conscience for the rest of your life, because that is disgusting. And I say the same thing for anyone else that knew about this and sat idly by and never said a damn word. If all of these things happen, then hopefully the public response will also become more productive, okay? Because what has happened here was an absolute colossal, utter failure based on the responses of other people, degenerates, who responded to Tana Mongeau, calling her a liar, saying that she's doing this for clout. She's had some part in this, which she absolutely did not. When you're 17, you cannot make these decisions for yourself. She was manipulated and groomed, as far as I'm concerned. And hopefully this never happens again. But if it ever happens again, people need to be quicker to it, okay? When someone is saying this has happened to them, this person slept with me when I was 17 years old, it can't take 3 years to finally come to the surface ever again. No, he cannot be protected any longer. It cannot take this long for people to come out with responses to this and not acknowledge these things. And honestly, a lot of people are speculating that Cody will never say anything. He'll never come out and make a statement, blah, blah, blah. He'll just continue to ignore it. And to an extent, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, yeah, he's probably not going to admit to it. And honestly, I kind of hope that he doesn't, because I feel like it would be one more way to try to discredit Tana Mongeau. And I think it'd be one more way to try to manipulate if he did come out and say something like, oh, man, I didn't do that. Or it was, XYZ. I think his silence is the response. And I think him DJing and pumping his fists and living his life, doing this fake bit where he's living life and he doesn't care, he's unbothered. I think that tells us everything that we need to know about what's going on. I want to say this as well. I'm sorry that this happened to Tana Mongeau. I really am. And I understand 100% that she doesn't really see it as traumatic as it is. And like I was mentioning before, it's by design that she feels detached from it because he did that. He's always been there for years where he's asserting his power over her. He's messaging her, intimidating her out of talking about it. He was this person that she was a fan of. So she doesn't see it that way. And that's what makes it difficult to talk about this because I can tell that she kind of does want it to go away. But unfortunately, I think what's going to do the most good for the most amount of people is continuing to put this at the forefront of our conversations and to address these things as they're happening and head on, even though it's uncomfortable, because I think it's going to help a lot more people in the end if we don't allow people like this to get away with the crimes that they're committing and the things that they're doing. These are horrible, atrocious things. This stuff cannot fly in our society. We cannot be a society of people that simply allow people like this to do these things to minors. These are our youth, and we're allowing adults to take advantage of our youth. That is not something that we should ever be okay with. I think we can all agree that is unequivocally, undeniably wrong. I absolutely do not want this to be just another person that gets away with it. I don't. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you would like to see more videos like this one, stay tuned. I have a lot more videos that got pushed back this week because, this was obviously more important to talk about, I think, but I have other things that I'm going to be doing videos on, hopefully more lighthearted than this one. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.
I wonder if in 10 years the Drake Diddler documentary comes out.
Exactly. That's with Millie Bobby Brown.
Commenting on her pictures when she was 16.
Yeah.
Everybody's a diddler, man. What the man, that shit made me want to vomit. R. Kelly being 31 and like charming up 17-year-old girls. That's weird as you can just tell. You just know it. It doesn't matter how much makeup they have. Like, you just know it. I'm like, yeah, you do. Like, there's an innocence about being 17. That's fucking creepy.